Hi everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. So I don't know about you, but I'm really enjoying my twin flame journey. I know that sounds odd, and you don't hear a whole lot of people saying that, but when you come out of the other side of it, you'll realize how wonderful this journey is and how your whole world turns into a whole different direction that you never even thought possible. Like you have this forethought or the sight of how it's gonna, because you're like, oh, my intuition's telling me this, and it's that person, and it's going to end up like this, and it's gonna look like that. Oh, I've had dreams, and it's gonna, and when in actuality it turns out way better. It actually turns out nothing the way you thought. And so I wanted to start up this channel again to kind of share with how wonderful the twin flame journey can turn out, and where you're just happy every day and you're excited and you're joyful, and best of all, you're at peace. You're just at peace. Now, does that mean my everyday is perfect? No. And when I do dive into the shadows, it's way shorter than it used to be. Where I used to stay down there, and now it's just I go bloop, I go down there, I learn what I need to learn, and then I come back up. I come back to peace, and I'm always asking my soul, what percentage of time am I in the peace vibration? Because I always want to know. It's like, am I there 50% of the time, 60% of the time, 70% of the time? Because I started off at 10% of the time. When I first hit that peace vibration, I was there for 10% of the time. 80% of the time, I was not at peace. But you know what? 10% was a really big amount of time compared to what it used to be before my twin flame journey. And then it just grew and grew and grew and grew. And my soul is like, woohoo, we're doing great. Good job. And so, besides getting, I have a mentor, that's always good to have. When you have a mentor to kind of say, well, what do my guides say about this? And what do my guides say about that? That is very helpful on this twin flame journey. And when they're like, when they're not making fun of you, right? And they understand and they know where you're coming from. And they're like, oh yeah, this is what's happening. You're correct. You're on it. You're on it. And then you really learn to kind of heal your inner child, really integrate your shadows, integrate everything. That's the big thing, is that integration of the inner, integration of the outer. It's all you. It's like that, oh, I am oneness type thing. I feel whole. Okay. So when you get to that point, you're just like, you realize the whole relationship part wasn't actually the goal. And really, it wouldn't have been good if you were in the relationship where you were, because it would have been challenging. It would have been super challenging, where you wake up and you're just like, oh, Lord, have mercy. And so I've learned that being on the twin flame journey, I now have this relationship with my soul where I'm feeling very much, the best way I could put it is at peace, enlightened. Um, I'm just able to be in very interesting situations where I don't react the same way I did. I have a different perspective on it. When everyone else feels chaotic and not able to sleep or unable to concentrate or just angry or just sad or just looking outside in the world and saying, wow, this really sucks. I'm not. I'm all like, isn't life great? I'm one of those people. I'm like, isn't life just wonderful? And then I have friends that are sometimes dropping like flies because they don't relate to me. They don't, because I don't really see that perspective anymore. And it's not because I'm a guru. It's because I healed. It's because I released my trapped emotions. It's because I healed my inner child, and I'm still doing. I do it every day. It never stops. It's every day I'm healing. Every day, it's every day I'm expanding. And so I just want to say that I really am enjoying my twin flame journey. And if you're interested in learning more about anything I just mentioned, you can just email me. It's in my description box. Anyway, sorry I went off on such a tangent there. Anyway, I do want to do a reading for you. So I'm going to ask the question, what is it time for? What is it time for on your twin flame journey? So let's ask these questions. I'm going to ask the one question. What is it time for right now? I want to know too. But this is for the collective. For the collective, what is it time for? It's almost like a life coaching question. I did take a life coaching course at work, and I really, really like the questions so much. They're so empowering that I think I want to keep asking them on this channel. I don't know if anyone else will enjoy it, but I think it's really going to help you move mountains. Of course, your soul's the one that's talking to you, and you take the meaning that you need to take. Don't take the meaning that I give you. You take the meaning that you get from the cards, because your soul's always talking to you. Okay, so what is it time for? For the collective, I'm going to pull 3 cards. 3 cards. What is it time for? 3 cards. What's it time for? 3 cards. What is it time for? For the collective. For the collective. What is it time for? Last shuffle. What's it time for? For the collective. 3 cards. What's it time for? Okay. So we got child, orphan, light attributes, independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of survival. Well, wouldn't you know? So I like this card that I pulled the other day, and it's basically what they're telling me is so whenever I start something new, especially this YouTube channel isn't really new to me, but I stopped doing it for a while because I just didn't feel called to do it, and I was just living my best life anyway in other ways. And then when I started this channel up again, I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to be easy. And they were like, oh, you think that this is going to be just riding the wave? No, this is a rogue wave. Your job is to learn how to get skills first. This is not about you having life handed to you on a silver platter. You're here to learn. You're here to gain skills. You're here to not care who watches. You're here to not care about how many subscribers you have, how many views you have. It's not about that. It's nothing to do with that. This is about you learning skills and you learning and being and preparing from when you are ready. So I don't know if you've ever seen those movies where you're just where you watch like I don't know maybe like the Karate Kid's a good example where the Karate Kid is like waxing and weighing whatever he's doing, right, and like learning how to do his skills until he's ready for the big fight, I guess. It's kind of the same thing with this twin flame journey. It's like you're gaining all these skills and you expect it to be this fun riding the wave when it's not. It's a rogue wave. And you're learning to be independent. You're learning a different template that you were never taught. You were never taught this as a child. You were never taught this in school. You were never taught this through programs, TV, movies, songs. This is about you learning to go at it on your own with your soul, and be happy about it. And I'm not saying we're an island because we're not at all. And the soul always brings you help whenever you need it. So this is more about going within and really enjoying your time on your journey. Yeah, I like that. Conquering the fear of surviving versus feeling abandonment. I have to say, if you do feel abandoned in any way, which I totally get, I relate to you if you've ever felt abandoned. Me, my whole life. So if you are feeling this way, go to emotion code and release it. Release your trapped emotions. I promise you. A lot of it has to do with inner child wounds, and then it starts to go away. And then you don't really feel abandoned anymore. Like I said, I've had friends drop off like flies, where they just don't relate to me. But it's not because of that. It's because we're just not a vibrational match anymore. Nothing to do with. And sometimes they're higher, sometimes I'm higher. That doesn't even matter. It's just not a vibrational match for whatever reason. So what is it time for? It is time to go at it alone, but do it with your soul, is what they're telling me. Okay. Um, it's a way of life where you feel at home and you really enjoy your own company. I swear to God, I got there. I really enjoy my own company now. I love it so much. And you're not looking to have someone else fulfill that void inside of you, and you don't feel that abandonment. That's where you want to get, where you don't really depend on someone else to feel that happiness. Because once that person walks away, uh-oh, there goes your happiness. Your happiness just walked away. You don't want to give anyone that sort of power. Okay. All right. What else is it time for? Okay, so we have judge. It says shadow attribute because it was reversed, offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so what they're saying is this: stop judging yourself. Okay, so we all do this, right? We always say, "Oh, I'm not good enough," or "Oh, I don't have what it takes," or "I can't do it," right? They're saying you don't have. First of all, you're not going at it alone. You have your soul to. All I do is ask. To this day, I am bombarding my soul with questions, and I'm like, "Well, what does this mean? Why is this happening?" What can you tell me more about this? And I literally write down questions, and I have like a bunch of questions by the end of the month, like tons of them. And I'll usually go through me first. I'll ask my soul first. And if it's still not clear, then I'll go to my mentor, and I will call my mentor, and I will go over all my questions that I still am confused about. And when I get the answers, I'm like, what? I'm like, okay. And I'm no longer judging myself, because I realize a lot of the stuff that I was going through, a lot of the stuff that I was suffering over, was really just um, old wounds from when I was a child, and unfortunately, past lives. Now all the past lives are coming up. And they're really pretty bad past lives. Anyway, so don't take it on yourself. Don't feel bad. Don't feel guilt. Don't feel like, oh, I'm doing something wrong, or oh, I'm not with my twin flame, so something must be wrong with me. I'm not doing it right, right? Because that's not true. The truth of the matter is, you're doing everything right. You just keep going. The fact that you're on the twin flame journey is huge. Give yourself credit for being on the twin flame journey. It is not easy, and most of the world is not on it. Even if they think they are, doesn't mean they are, or they're not really making the changes. So with this one, yeah, be compassionate to yourself. Have self-compassion. All right, and then with this one, we got vampire. So it's kind of the same thing, right? So it's like what they're trying to say with this one is that when you're complaining, or when you're judging, or even if it's outside of yourself, you're still depleting yourself. It's like that psychic energy of negativity, right? Which we all do, right? We're like, well, this is what's happening, and these people did this, and and trust me, we're all programmed to do that. But what happens is, it starts to deplete yourself. You'll feel bad, like as you're saying it, you make yourself feel bad. Like that's when you know. It's like if you're saying something and you feel okay, but when you start to feel bad about it, it's the best way I could describe it. you realize, oh, you're like eating at yourself. It's like you're shooting at yourself is the best way I can describe it. Because we're all one, you know. And so when we talk like negatively around about other people, it somehow comes back to us in some sort of way. And so this vampire is draining your own force energy. You're doing it to yourself. So what you could do instead is see it as a mirror. So you can say, oh, okay, so that person is blah, blah, blah. And you say, okay, so my soul is talking to me. Usually your soul will talk to you through mirrors and emotions. You'll feel an emotion inside of you. That is your soul talking to you, or God, or whatever you want to call it, spirit. And outside of you, if you're not listening inside, they're going to jump outside of you and say, well, let me talk to you through this person. Or it could be anything. It could be a song, it could be a TV show, whatever. And you got to notice the mirror. If it's extremely triggering, that's when you know. When it's extremely triggering, now you know that it's something you need to really take care of. And then you ask your soul, oh my God, is this something that needs to be cleared? And the answer is yes, it does. It needs to be cleared. And so clearing it is the best way to go. Clearing everything's energy, clearing your energy. Although, because if you feel drained in any sort of way, you're draining your own life force energy, they're saying. If you're complaining about others or things outside of you, especially if it's out of your control, take your control back, transmute it. Transmute it. That's what I did. So when I didn't feel good about something, I'll give you an example. I wasn't too happy about chemtrails. I was getting mad. So I decided to transmute them. And then I asked a psychic, and the psychic's like, yeah, you changed it. It's really good now. The psychic's like, how'd you do that? So you just gotta take the power back. That's what you gotta do. Okay. So what else? What else is it time for? What is it time for? Let's just pull a couple of cards from this one. What's it time for? We'll do 2 cards with this one. 2 cards. What's it time for the collective? Well, it's time to surrender unhealthy relationships. Yeah, surrender it. Surrender doesn't mean give up. I actually don't like the word surrender because it's like almost like waving that flag, white flag. I forget. Anyway, it's basically just saying to let it go because whatever was really meant for you will not actually leave you. If it was meant for you, it'll be yours. There's no going after something. There's no trying to get someone to like you or to notice you. We're out of the third dimension now, right? So the twin flame journey is not about that anymore. We're not about going out of our way to find someone. It's interesting. It's like when you go within yourself and you're really enjoying life and you're being the best version of yourself and you're literally in joy and you're so happy, that's when someone comes in. It's like you attract from the inside and not from the outside. And what you think is something that you need. Well, here's the thing: when there's something that you want, what you'll really attract is what you need, based on your inner wounds and based on what needs to be cleared. So that's why. So that's why you'll get people, you have relationships where they'll come in and it seems pretty rogue or seems pretty chaotic. And that's because it's a mirror to what's inside of you that needs to be cleared. Okay. And so this says, let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. Yes, you do. That's what you deserve. Next one is surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. I love that. So again, that's what the twin flame journey is all about. We're releasing what we've been programmed to learn, especially as a child. We are no longer in that dimension anymore. We're above the third dimension. We don't do things the same anymore. Our perspectives have changed on life. Okay, so we have to release those outdated beliefs, whatever that means to you. I think you know. I don't think I have to spell that out for you. The olden day ways of doing things. And you even see the millennials today where they're living life very differently. They value they're like leaving jobs in droves. They're like, I'm retiring now. I'm 30 years old. I don't need all that gobs of money. I'm just going to live life simply. I'm going to enjoy life. I'm going to be healthy. Because sometimes jobs are very stressful. They're like, what's the sense of that? You just work, 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 work. And then you retire. And then you're like so sickly because you stressed yourself out the whole, and you don't even get to enjoy your retirement. They're like, I'm not doing that. I'm retiring now. Bye-bye. What else? What else is it time for? What is it time for? What is it time for? 2 cards, please. 2 cards. What is it time for? What is it time for, my beautiful twin flames? What is it time for? Well, it's time for a mini retreat. I love this. Listen to the voice of your soul. I do this every weekend, by the way. I do take my little mini retreat, and I just retreat and I talk to my soul. I do have an SOS kit if you want to learn how to do that. It's fabulous. It's like everything gets cleared for you. All of a sudden, everything makes sense. When you learn to talk to your soul, now you're like, oh, now I understand. Now I know the why. Oh, thank God. And then you're just happy. When everyone else is kind of like, what's going on? And in a frenzy, you're going to be so calm and collected and happy. So take a mini retreat and talk to your soul and get those answers. Action. Interesting. So it says, take action. Am I too close? There you go. Take action. The journey to find your lost self begins with 1 step. Oh, I love that. It's baby steps. Literally, that's what they did with me. They didn't give me the whole shebang with everything I've learned. They didn't say, boom, here it is. Do it. No, they gave me like little tiny pieces of the puzzle. They're like, here's a piece. And then I'm like, what? What do I do with this piece? And then I'm like, okay. And then I learned about it, did it, worked on it. They're like, oh, good job. Here's another piece. And that's how my twin flame journey came about. So that's why I did 21 videos called my SOS kit. Those are like the little tiny pieces that I learned along the way. And just built up, and it just kept building on top of each other, where I'm just like, oh, it's all starting to make sense. I'm starting to get the whole picture here. And so that's what they're saying. They're saying just take baby steps. Don't feel like you got to do everything in one big swoop. Just whatever is going to help you with where you're at. Whatever. My first number one thing for me was 2 things I was doing. 2 things, because I was suffering a lot at the beginning of this twin flame journey. And I mean a lot of suffering. Super duper suffering. I was in physical pain and mental anguish. And I had to do 2 things. I had to do emotion code. I had to do that every day. That really did it brought me so much peace. Like no other. And the second thing is I had to, whatever I felt like longing that I had to put on myself. I'm in love with Mary Beth Shea. I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love with Mary Beth. I'm in love with Mary Beth. And so because every time I'd feel a longing for someone else, I would say, nope, it's mine. I want me. I want me. And that worked too. And so those are the first 2 things I started with. So that's where it started for me. And then of course, I'm sure your soul is giving you your own journey and your own steps. I'm not saying you have to follow what I do. All right, what else is it time for? What is it time for? Also, I do energy work also to help release trapped emotions for you if you're interested. I believe I do that is it Mondays? I think Mondays, yeah. I release those on Mondays. So if you're interested in having some trapped emotions released for you, it really does make a big difference to help you become more at peace. All right, what else is it time for? I'm going to do one card on this one. One card. What is it time for? You are a powerful light worker. Ooh, it is safe for you to be powerful. You're in service of the divine. I love that. So what is it time for? Whatever that means to you, I'm not going to tell you what it means to be a light worker. So whatever your light work entails, that's yours, right? Awesome. Okay. I know what it means to me, and if you're interested in knowing what it means to me to be a light worker, I'd be happy to share. But I'm sure you have your own ways of being a light worker. I literally I literally use my hand chakras to do light. Okay, what else? One card. What is it time for? What is it time for? What the heck is it time for? One card. Okay. Oh, this is nice. So this is for anyone who's watching. It's time to listen to your loved ones from the other side. Okay, so both my parents have passed away, but I have a lot of communication with them. They're always talking to me. They're always here. I even have a portal. I swear to God, my light blinks. It's almost like an elevator. And they come in all day. Blink. I thought I had electrical issues. I don't. Anyway, it says a message from your deceased loved ones. I am happy and at peace, and I love you very much. Please don't worry about me. For those who might have lost someone recently, I'm very sorry for your loss. And it is time, what they're saying, it is time for you to communicate with them. They have a lot to say. They have a lot they want to talk to you about. And they're here with you on your journey. They want to help you. I swear to God, I had this one girlfriend who died very young. She was only like 48. And sometimes I hear, all of a sudden I hear, Maribeth, Maribeth. And I'm like, Sonia, is that you? And then she'd be like, what are you doing? And she'd be like, what is in your closet? I'm here to help you. So you got it. Yeah, listen to what they have to say to you. Well, anyway, those are all the cards I pulled. I do hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Also, I am offering 10-minute free readings for any new subscribers. Just email me at twinflamealchemisttarot@gmail.com. I also do 1-hour mentorship, 1-hour life coaching. Again, my SOS kit, that's 50% off for $105. That's 21 videos. Each video is like 40 minutes each. By the way, I think my mom's here. She'll come in as a fly. She's coming to say hello. She's been here with me all day. Okay, and then what else do I offer? Of course, your normal everyday readings. If you are interested in a 10-minute free reading, just make sure it's an open-ended question. Make sure it's not a yes or no. Otherwise, it really doesn't turn out to be 10 minutes. Really, they just say yes or no. I think that's all I want to say. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.